I think it's time we started taking Indievelo far more seriously, and I think I'm going to be riding and racing on Indievelo far more. For those who wonder what I'm talking about a competitor ZWIFT. At the moment, it is free. You can pay for it. It is in beta. Bear that in mind, but it is free. Now, I don't know this at all. This is purely speculation. It would not surprise me at all if ZWIFT buys out Indievelo and takes this program and makes it the new ZWIFT, simply because it is a new code. The graphics a little bit not to people's liking, but the graphics can be improved very easily. The creator, I've forgotten at the moment, I'll just stick it up here, of Indievelo is not concentrating on graphics at the moment as it's in beta. They're concentrating purely on the mechanics of the game. And there is a large list of things that are so much better than ZWIFT that we should be moving, that I am definitely thinking about moving over. Now, the first thing is, here I am on my account. Now, to create a new login, I'm not going to go through the whole thing about downloading and installing Indievelo like other YouTubers. It's a waste of your time, a waste of my time. If you can't figure it out, then there is other ways to figure it out. So first of all, open up my account. Now, the user interface, obviously the GUI, to sound professional, is a bit clunky, but it's not that bad. So first thing you have is your profile. So you go in, you'll create your Rider profile. We all know that this is. If you don't, well, my FTP is not that high at the moment, that's for sure. It used to be a lot higher, but even when I got sick, I think it's probably about 300 now. My weight's higher. I haven't updated that for a while. Probably 86 actually. Height hasn't changed. I'm still a male. I'm still born on the same dates. All right. Now, so first thing you can do is you connect your accounts. So you connect Strava, training peaks, intervals, today's plan, blah, blah, blah. The good thing about a lot of, like, I have ZWIFT, and ZWIFT can pick up off Strava, so that's easy. And then you can change your avatar. It's not as I said, the graphics, that I don't like the size of their heads because I'm so used to the size of ZWIFT. It does look a bit weird, but obviously the graphics aren't that great yet at the moment. ZWIFT has better integration, but that will all come. And the reality is you don't really look at your avatar from the front when you're riding. Come on, Lucy in the sky. Help me out here. There you got teams. Great thing is you can create a team. I've really got to create the Burrito Titans team, don't I? You can create a jersey for your team too, send it off. Much easier than ZWIFT. So that's point number one. Creating a jersey is so much easier. There's no little inside information. You don't have to try and get someone's personal contact and then wait months for a new update of the game. As far as I know, you send your template off to the Indievelo team and then it'll be updated quite simply, because there is updates. There seems to be updates almost twice a week, every week. Then you got your racing license. You can put all that information in. My rider profile I've done. Team, avatar, follow friends. So I can put my friends in there. Training zones. Don't train, so what's the point? Activity history. So this is where you can see everything you've done before. Race history. I've only done a few races. Ranking history. I've not actually looked at this. So this is a big difference between ZWIFT and Indievelo. Now ZWIFT, you don't specifically have rankings, you have a category. I haven't really looked too much into the ranking on Indievelo, but you don't obviously have ZWIFT power for Indievelo, which is a plus and a minus. There is a website you can go to see events for Indievelo. So first of all, let's get on to that. I really should have done more racing, but I thought I'd get this video out now because Indievelo is no longer only PC. I know that held a lot of people back from using Indievelo because it's free, so why not try it? But now you can use Indievelo on Android and Indievelo on your Apple devices. It's not Apple TV yet, but you can cast. So if you do have a phone, you can cast to your Apple TV if you wish. You don't need to be using your phone to do anything in ZWIFT. Indievelo, so used to saying ZWIFT. But there is things I'll cover coming up. cover further in the video that is so much better than ZWIFT that you will be using your phone most likely, or the keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse, that's amazing that you can actually use that for some of these actions coming up. Point number 2, there is no requirement to go to a third website, a fourth website, a fifth website with Indievelo when it comes to results. You see all the results. Now, I know most of you, there's probably, if you actually don't do this, please comment below, because I'd like to know who actually watches this but doesn't use in ZWIFT Power. Pretty much everyone goes to ZWIFT Power to get results, because ZWIFT took a long time to actually get proper results. Now, only thing is you can't click on them, as far as I can tell, to open up their profile, but you can always go into Strava and stalk them on that way. I'll cover why this isn't so important and later on in the next in a couple of points time. Now then you got your critical power. So this is similar to what you have in ZWIFT. So that what you'll want to do is you'll want to go into your graphic settings. There's a little bit more here you can do compared to ZWIFT. You can change the frame rate. So at the moment I've got it, I should actually have it at 60. I've got VSync enabled, which is why I had it limited. So at the moment my screens are running at 60 Hertz, but if you've got a gaming monitor like this one's actually a gaming monitor which is 240 Hertz or something, but I'd run it because I've got dual screens. Anyway, that's irrelevant. You can change your screens and you can change your textures so you can get it, and also draw distance. Now, the graphics have improved since the last update in terms of how fast it runs on the systems. The graphics aren't amazing, but they're pretty good. When you're racing, as you know on ZWIFT, the graphics don't matter so much, as long as it's smooth. Now, the next thing is user interface. Now, point number 3, I think, 3 or 4. I'm going to say 5, 6, just in case for the edit. You don't need source for ZWIFT. With Indievelo, you don't need to get it because it shows you important information in your draft. Now, there will be some people that miss some of the metrics that source provide, but for me, they're all pretty much redundant. You can look at that information after the ride. If you're looking at other people's power, then you're probably looking at the wrong thing. Sorry for those people. Yes, you may be right for some things. Now, you can change all these information. Always sunny. Now I'll get onto this information about the power meter. It is a little bit confusing when you first start. So then we got broadcast. Now at the moment, to be able to use broadcast, you do need to be what do they call it? Early access founders club. But you can save your data to the file, you can upload it to an URL. I really should look more into this broadcast thing, so maybe I'll insert what a broadcast looks like up here for a moment while we watch that. If not, let's move on. ZWIFT have really dropped the ball when it comes to broadcasting live races. The ZWIFT community, they do a great job considering the lack of tools that ZWIFT provided them. And of course it means that anyone else that wants to do broadcasting that haven't got the backing that ZWIFT community has, it makes it very difficult. And then finally, audio settings. Yeah, it's the standard audio settings. Let's get on to pairing equipment. This is the big difference between ZWIFT and Indievelo. I'm just going to wake up my devices now. So I've woken up my devices. Now this is where you select your primary power. Now, this is as a trainer only. So you got Bluetooth, the little round circles looks like hands, and actually no, sorry. You got Bluetooth. Then you got ANT+. So I select Bluetooth. So now my trainer is connected. Now if you don't have a trainer, you can simply just not select that. Okay, but as I said in other videos, everyone has trainers. So make sure you select that. Then you've got cadence meters. Obviously I've got my various ones. So you've got aciometers. Now this is where you make sure you choose Bluetooth or ANT+. Remember the Bluetooth is that little icon. I do recommend, now this is something I saw at Ed Laverick Stream. Do not mix up your devices when you're pairing, especially if you're using a trainer with someone else in the room. What I saw in Ed Laverick Stream is the reason why his trainer lost resistance is because when he paired his trainer, he used ANT+. And the AMP Plus is great for many reasons. One of the disadvantages is that if someone else pairs, or someone else can pair your trainer whilst you're using it, and so you'll lose resistance. You won't lose the reading, which is one of the good things about AMP Plus, is that you don't lose the reading as easily, but you will lose resistance. So that was the issue with Ed Lavrak's race, is that for some reason he had power by Bluetooth and trainer by AMP Plus. If he had trainer with Bluetooth, then his fiance could not have accidentally have paired the trainer. Now, while we're here, I'm not blaming the fiance. When you open up the pairing screen in ZWIFT, it'll automatically grab every device in the room. So if you're using AMP Plus on your trainer, even if you haven't assigned it, it will still pick it up in the pairing screen, which is why when Ed freaked out and his girlfriend then exited the pairing screen, then he got his trainer power back. So that's sort of a bit of a side story, but always use Bluetooth unless you have issues with it. And remember, if you're using AMP Plus, else is going to be using another device in the room, they may pick up your device just going into the pairing screen of Indievelo or ZWIFT. That's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so moving on from, I've got to choose. Let's go to that. Okay, let's get to the power meter before it drops. Okay, so same thing, Bluetooth, AMP Plus. Always go Bluetooth. I know some people think AMP Plus is better. I do have to have a look, because I'll do another video, because we all know, well, for those that don't know, race mode with ZWIFT is 10 Hertz, normal connections is 1 Hertz, but I did see something recently that AMP Plus is, how many Hertz? I'm not going to say just in case I'm wrong, but it's 4 times reading in 1 second. So that, whatever that Hertz is. So now you can connect up your trainer and your power meter at the same time. This is why Indievelo is a step ahead when it comes to this. Heart rate, I haven't actually got anything connected. Okay. So you've done all that. And then you got trainer settings. So this is where it's a bit different than ZWIFT, where you have 0% to 100%. Oops. Because Indievelo has wind. So you got your slope, which is what we'd have. Instead of having 0% and 100%, it basically shows. So on a 10% hill, you got 0%. And then that's 50%, well, almost. There's 50%, and there's 100%. So that's pretty basic. Then you got braking. Again, something that doesn't happen on ZWIFT. So this is a feel that you can feel if you're using a trainer. Obviously, if you're not using a trainer, then none of these things actually make a difference. So when you go too fast into a corner, and as you're pedaling out of a corner, it'll actually apply the force onto your pedals. And I haven't quite verified it yet. You will produce more power, but this is the part that I know. Even if you produce more power, you still won't accelerate out of the corner whilst it's showing that red screen, I think. But this will give you the feedback that you simply don't bother about pedaling, just wait until that brake eases up, and then you can start pedaling out of the corner. And then you got wind feel. If you're riding into a headwind or a tailwind, you'll feel the difference. It sort of feels like riding up a hill or down a hill. Now, personally, I didn't like having it very high because it felt, maybe there's issues at the moment with my Bluetooth, but it didn't seem to be affecting. All of a sudden it would just hit you as you're riding along, and then nothing would change for a while. So to me, it doesn't feel right yet, but it's an exciting feature to have, and I definitely welcome it. And then you've got, when you're in workout mode, so you've got erg, everyone knows erg, but for those that don't, in case you're watching this video, welcome to the channel.
Subscribe now.
When you're doing a workout and it prescribes a certain wattage, so a certain power, so say an interval you want to do 200 watts, as long as you're pedaling, you're going to be producing around 200 watts. Doesn't matter what gear you're in or how hard you're pedaling, how fast you're pedaling, the resistance on the trainer will try and hold you at 200 watts. If you pedal faster, it will lower resistance until let's not get into the weeds when it comes to erg. If you want to know about erg, go and look at another video. And then of course you got fixed. There is no hills. Everything's just you're riding with 0% everywhere you go. Then you got terrain, matches the real world. So if you're riding on a flat road, it's flat. If you're going up a hill, it goes up a hill. And then you have virtual gearing. This is a new feature for Wahoo, ZWIFT. What is that ZWIFT trainer called?
ZWIFT Hub 1?
ZWIFT something 1. This is point number 4. The big feature that I love compared to ZWIFT is you have virtual gears. You can set any gearing you want. So this is your current one. So this, don't worry too much about this in the settings, because this just means what you start off with. You can adjust this anytime. But this is how many virtual gears. You can make yourself have 50 gears, or you can be a knobhead and just have one gear and then pretend that you're riding around on a fixie. You do not need to spend money. You don't need to have a special trainer. You can use any trainer of any manufacturer, and you do not need any special equipment. It doesn't cost a thing. All you need to do is you can use your keyboard, or you can, if you really do desire, you can buy yourself a little Bluetooth device, put it onto your handlebars, and then you can just assign whatever you want. As long, if you want to see a hilarious story about a Bluetooth device, you can look at this video up here with Peter McMullen, but hopefully you won't be having this situation.
Come on, boys, come feed.
Whoa.
It's got all the hard work to get there. Well done. No.
So you can use a Bluetooth device to change your virtual gears. Hallelujah. This is what I've been asking ZWIFT to do for a long time. Stop making us pay to use virtual gearing. Point number 5, which is fantastic about Indievelo. You can create your own events. If I go into options, organize events, add a new. Now I can also broadcast. I haven't got the broadcast ability, so I'm not quite sure what all the things are in that. But what you can do, this is fantastic, and something that relates to something recently. So you can choose your events, you can choose scratch points, elimination time trial, blah, 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 blah. Why do I do a grit workout? Field size, branding. I'm not quite sure what branding is. Maybe you can do some advertising, I don't know. Now, neutral zone. How good is this? Instead of, like, we all know how crazy ZWIFT starts are. I don't mind them because I'm used to them. But how good would it be, instead of having to do a warm-up before a race, you set up a neutral zone for, say, 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers into a race. Or if you want to do a certain course and you don't want to do the climb as part of the race, you can set so the neutral starts at the top of the climb. And then the pace partner you'll ride with the pace partner to the end of the neutral zone, and you can set the speed or the power. Obviously, you're not going to set the speed at 30 or 40 kilometers an hour up the climb. So I do suggest you just set power. And then you can change your wind, and you can change the weather. Weather's not going to affect anything in terms of the rolling resistance as far as I know. It's just going to be the same thing as a day and night, just looks better. And then you can choose human rides only. This is the big difference between ZWIFT and Indievelo. Indievelo, you can race against bots rather than having pace partners. You do have pace partners in Indievelo, but you can also race against bots, which have a power profile, so you can actually wear them out. But obviously, they race. They do have some quirks, because it is AI. Well, not even AI, it's just an algorithm. Then you can make everyone start in the same pen. You can have, this is also good, if you're doing, there's a velodrome. Lapped riders don't have drafting, or they do. Female riders only, and unranked, and then full trainer feel. So this is great. You can set up this event where everyone has the same training feel. Now, I'm not saying that makes everything equal, because every trainer is different. The difficulty of riding 100% on a Wahoo kicker is different than riding 100% on a Tax Neo and Elite Dorito or Just Do. They're all different. 100% on one trainer is not 100% on another trainer, but it gives you that option. Options are great. And then of course you've got flagged riders. So I did do a test. I haven't done it recently. If you do not assign trainer power only to the event, you can still do sticky watts. But if you're using a trainer and you do sprint and coast, which is a bit of a, it was actually, I haven't seen much about recently, topic on ZWIFT, which is it realistic or not. But the thing is, you can automatically remove them. Now, whether it's an advantage or not, I'm not sure, but it's good having that option. The people who do sprint coast, it's very hard. I did a video here where I tried to get kicked out. It took me a long time to work out that you need to be trainer power, but it still takes a lot of bad riding to get kicked out. And then of course you can set access code. Well, actually I'll go to requirements. So first, you can have no requirements, so anyone can join with power meter, or maybe even, no, it has to be a power meter. You can't join with a dumb trainer. You can then set it to smart trainer, heart rate monitor, and cadence. And then also tier 2. A little bit confusing at first, but it means that you have to have a trainer and a power meter connected. So that you have dual records. And then tier 3, I can't set it because maybe you have to be a founder. This is pretty damn high. Tier 1's fine. I'm happy with tier 1. And then you can provide an access code, so you can then invite friends only, group. You can set up club racing only, or if you have like a Discord, Burrito Titans, Zwifty Zwifter, Swift Insider, Dirt, all those Discords, Chasing Series. If anyone's got access to that, you can just say, we've got a race, here's the code to make sure that only the people that you want are in it. And you set it up. Fantastic. This is, how much easier is this than on ZWIFT? Yes, finally they do have club rides, but it's not a race. It's not the same. And this has all the controls that you need, that I want. I want to have ZWIFT races with only smart trainers. The only thing is, obviously, the only thing that's missing at the moment in Indievelo is the ability to have, just go into the companion app like in ZWIFT and see upcoming events. There is a website that you can go to, or the other option is you have to go to log in to Indievelo, and you can go to events and you can filter them out. Now when you're choosing an event, there is information, often not too much. It's a 1 kilometer. This is a great thing about Indievelo. You've got a bit more variety of the races. So I want to do a 1 kilometer time trial, 1 lap. I choose let's race, and full performance verification. So you have to enter your height, weight. I don't know, it's full performance verification to core. Please make sure you've got the equipment's calibrated, checks have moved. Okay, so this just basically means you cannot do sprint and coast. Make sure you enter everything correctly with your weight, your height. Make sure you calibrate. Okay, and then I do okay. And then, just like in ZWIFT, I'm in the pen. So I've got 4 minutes to go. So it's just like ZWIFT. You press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. 0 is your free cam, I think. Should be, but maybe, yeah. Why is it? There we go. It's moving around. It's a bit slow. I don't know why I can't zoom in or out. I think they might have broken the 0 camera for this build. I can't zoom in or out, but that's okay. No, I do end ride. Are you showing an end ride? Yes, I do. I can go and warm up. Now, if I want to, so say, let's put down this one. So, scratch race. Everyone starts together. First across the line wins. Let's race. Actually, cancel what I do. I can sign in. How do I sign in again? There we go. Sign up. Okay, so I'm signed up. Return. What if I just want to do, I can do a training session, I can do a race warm-up, everything just like Zwift. You can import your workouts into it just like Zwift. And you're not going to miss anything. And you got pace partners just like Zwift. So, and ride, you got free ride, just like Zwift. There's literally, it's just Zwift 2.0. Okay, and I can do spectate, but what if we go to, say, now does it show where the pace partner actually currently is? It doesn't do that yet. It's not a huge issue, but sometimes it's kind of fun. Okay, so let's go, let's pace. Everything's all set up. And away we go. Oh, way over here. Okay, so I'm in 0 view. What I'll do is I'll just go straight to fan view. And as you can see above, pen closes. So just like in Zwift, this is Zwift 2.0, join pen, or you can return. Now, one of the big differences is you don't have XP, you don't have levels. They may introduce it at some stage, but you're not going to be farming XP. You don't have drops. All the bikes are the same. You can make your bikes look cool, relatively. And ride. Okay. But all the bikes have the same performance. So let's go to options, garage. I think it's in garage. Profile, avatar display. There we go. So it's in here. My terrible avatar. So you can change the frame. Wow, that's just totally off, isn't it? I really should report that bug too. And then you've got racing, just regular frame, but there's no difference in performance. I'm not sure, I'm guessing surely these have different performance. I've got to look that up. I didn't realize I got the trike. And then you got your wheel sets. Racing, not. Now, maybe at some stage the basic and the racing will change, but as far as I know, it's still the same. Let's see what happens when I join this. I'm assuming, what did I press spectate for? Why is it taking me all the way to the top of the mountain? Cancel, return, return. Okay. Cancel. So let's have a look to see if I'm still standing up. Ah, finally it's laid down. Now the other thing too is there's no power-ups, which is great for a lot of people I know on Zwift who hate power-ups. So I do miss it, but I can live without power-ups for racing. Point number 6. Which is huge, really, if you're going to be doing these events. We all know we enter a points race, especially team points races, where you're doing the ride, you're in the race, you go through the sprint banners, but you have no idea how many points you got, how many points your team have, how many points the other teams has. You got no idea where you are in relation to the result. Even when you finish, you'll know your finish points, but you don't know anything else, and you don't know unless you go through and manually calculate everything going through Zwift Power, which is not the most accurate way, you have no idea the result. Was Indievelo. The best thing is, which I don't know why they can't do it on Zwift, it has live points. When you go through sprint banners, it will update you how many points each person got in the sprint, so you do know where your team or you lie in the race, during the race. When you finish the event, once everyone's finished the event, it will tell you the result of that race. You just got to pedal around. You're doing a warm down anyway, so it's not like you finish a race and just bugger off. How good will it be to be doing a teams point race on Discord, everyone chatting, you know on that final sprint that you're behind or ahead. Everything matters. Even if you're not going to win the race, as a rider coming 30th, 40th, 50th, 60th, depending on how big things get in Indievelo, the extra point that you get can make a difference between your team moving up or down in the results. Then as you cross the line and you're on Discord chatting to all your mates, the excitement that you feel when the results pop up, there's no more, I think we did all right, I think we did badly, I don't know, let's all go to bed and we'll find out in a day's time, because it takes forever for the results to be published. You will see the results pop up. That will be so much better. How fun will that be? So, getting back to why I made this video. Why aren't we not riding on Indievelo now? I suppose the answer to that is we do not have enough races doing Indievelo, because ZWIFT is where all the races are. Let's see if we can get a weekly race going. Build that momentum. Let's try and wean ourselves off ZWIFT, because ZWIFT is a bad parent. They don't care. If you want to see me getting really angry about ZWIFT and WTRL, and watch a video here about what I'm talking about. The fact that it's been years and years and there's no change, and there's still a massive issue that Indievelo fixes. So point number 7, you can steer using the keyboard and you've got wind. So how amazing will that be in terms of tactics? Is you're on the front of the race. And yes, in ZWIFT you can steer off, but people can then steer behind you and still be in your draft. But if you got a crosswind and the crosswind's coming from your left shoulder, you steer into the right gutter and the people behind, maybe the person directly behind you will get a draft, but the draft it's going to be echelons. We will have echelons in virtual racing. How cool is that? That is worthwhile and it costs nothing. Now sure, it's going to be maybe a little bit clunky using a keyboard, but we can find a controller and we can steer left and right for free. Well, okay, we might have to buy the device, but it's still not $200 and it's available in our country. One of the issues with ZWIFT is the play controls are not sold in my country. Many countries don't have the play controllers. So that's one of the reasons why there is not much steering in ZWIFT. We can join Indievelo, there will be steering. And the amount of tactics that opens up with the wind is so much higher than with ZWIFT. So again, I ask, why are we doing ZWIFT? Why? Let's all go do Indievelo. If I wasn't sick, I'd be on it right now. And with that final thought, I'm going to think about getting on Indievelo and having fun. Thanks for watching and peace out.